What if we told you a small shift in understanding the mistakes couples make in buying needs versus wants?
Could help you save thousands, can help you build an emergency fund, and can help you get out of debt quicker as a couple.
Let me tell you a small shift Franklin and I had to make when it came to saving more and also paying off our student loan. For me, ladies, I like to shop. I like the trend, the trending clothes, the trending shoes. For me, it's my getting my hair done every 2 weeks and getting coffee here and there. But when there was a Bath and Body Work on sale, like Bath and Body Work sale come out, I'm there. I like the candles, the soap. I am there. And it wasn't until it hit us, especially for me when it came to my hair. When I thought about how much my hair costs, it literally cost $140 a month. Times that by 12 months, ladies, that was $1,680 that we had to that we put out every month. And that money, we paused that, and that money went towards our student loan and being able to pay that off. It wasn't that I didn't want to get my hair done, but what we didn't want is that we didn't want to leave Isabella any debt. We didn't want to leave her that $80,000 in student loan, right? We want to leave her a legacy. And so for us, it was more so denying ourselves for those wants that we know that is not a need, but it's a want. And for us, it's more so like, how do we choose the needs versus wants? How do we continue to write out our budget every month so we can stay focused, so we're not going to the stores and just buying all these different things that we know that we didn't need. But the other piece too is that we wanted peace. We wanted security in our household, because wants are fun. They really are. They're fun. We like to have those. But what we would tell you is that if you're living from paycheck to paycheck, if you don't have a savings account, like an emergency fund saved, if you're drowning in debt, family, pausing those wants so you can really focus on those needs, so you can really build out your emergency fund, so you can protect your family. And that's what it was about for us. It was literally about us saving more and for us to pay off that student loan debt. And when we look at like Proverbs, because I read Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, like twice a year, right? When we really sat down and read Proverbs 14:23, baby.
Yes. Proverbs 14:23 says, all hard work brings profit, but mere talk only leads to poverty. And so the first part of the verse talks about being intentional, taking action. Hard work brings profit. What is profit? Profit is income minus expenses. And so it takes more to be profitable than just talking about paying off something, talking about getting a budget together, talking about saving for retirement, talking about paying off your credit cards. You really need to have an action plan. You really need to take actionable steps, like getting a plan together, setting your goals, doing the necessary things, having discipline, making the sacrifice, having delayed gratification. Those intentional actions will help you lead into profit. And one of the most important financial things you can do is have an emergency fund. In my early 20s, I'm going to use myself. I didn't have no emergency fund. I was buying clothes, I was buying suits, shoes, swiping the card, doing all these things. And I didn't have my priorities in order. And so when a real emergency came up, like a car repair or something, what did I do? I swiped my credit card and I kept getting deeper in debt. I was making the minimum payments on the credit card and paying 25 to 30% interest every month. And so the light bulb finally went on and said, hey, this is not working. I need to learn how I can take the right action steps and be intentional about how I can get out of debt and how I can prioritize my financial affairs so I'm not so stressed, so I can take care of myself and my family as needed. And so these are some of the things I was able to create an emergency fund. I was able to put cash aside. So when an emergency came up, I didn't have to use my credit card. I could just go ahead and pay it. And you know what? I learned something else by me having discipline in that area. I said, what else I can have discipline on? And so I was able to save more for my retirement. I was able to save more in my savings, other savings. I was able to save more through investing. So there's so many different opportunities that you can take by just being able to be intentional with your actions and saying, hey, I'm tired of living the way I've been living. I want to make a change, and I want to see financial transformation in my life.
Yeah. I would tell you is that when we think about our children, because our children, they will have us running to stores, they will have us running to restaurants, they will have us running, going to get these video games or any toys, just different things. But when we think about Isabella, we really sat down because we were one of those parents, right? Our first child, we wanted to get her the clothes, the shoes, the toys, like all of these things. And when we really sat down and thought about it, what was important for us? What would be important for her when she grows up, right? Will she have an account for herself, right? For what, if she wants to go to college or whatever the case may be. But for us, it was more so, how do we reduce the amount of wants that our child really wanted? Like, how do we start teaching her those things? And I would challenge you parents is to include your kids. Include your kids into your budget. Show them. Kids are very smart. They understand. It was just the other day when we were teaching Isabella about needs versus wants, but we're also teaching her about saving too. And so for you parents is that whenever you think about your children, sit down and really think about it. Like, is that a need? Is that a want? And we're not telling you, family, that you cannot go out and buy your wants. That is not what we're saying. We're saying that we have to be intentional. We have to be in alignment. We have to control our money, not the other way around. We want to tell that dollar where it needs to go. And for us, it was more so we needed to tell that dollar where it needed to go. I would tell you is that we always ask ourselves is that whatever we're going to go out and buy, is it moving us towards our goal? Was it moving us towards our student loan to pay off, or was it moving us farther away from our goal? The other piece is that when Frank and I, when we first moved into our home, you're talking about a 3,000 square foot home, right? We had a bed and we had 4 bar stools. We had 1 bed and 4 bar stools, but we agreed that we were not going to bring any debt. We were not going to charge and go out and get any furniture. We were just going to build it over time, like pay for it over time. It took us 2 years. It literally took us 2 years to go out and get it. But what we wanted is that we wanted to leave a legacy and let Isabella know is that, hey, you don't have to go out and get into debt in order for you to be able to have what you want. You can save for it, right? We save for a lot of things, and we just wanted to share that with you. But when we think about the subscription and the Uber Eats and all of those things.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Everybody has to eat. I'm a big fan of eating. I'm a big food connoisseur, but it's very important. But do you have to do 3 to 5 or more restaurants a week eating out? That's a big money. That's very costly. And so everybody has to buy groceries, and that's a need. But eating out that many times, that's a want. And so that's an area that a lot of families can improve on. And we're not saying don't eat out, because we eat out, but can you reduce the amount of times that you eat out? So that saves you a lot of money, and you could use that money towards paying off your credit card. You can use it towards building your emergency saving. You can use it towards your retirement account. And so we're able to do a lot of different things with that money instead of eating it. You don't want to eat all of your profit. You want to make sure that you have profit left over for other things you want to see, the financial goals you want to see in your life. Restaurants is one. You touched on DoorDash. Yeah. DoorDash, that's a great service. Uber Eats is a great service, but can you reduce that amount that you spend so you can apply it towards your financial goals? And so another thing is subscriptions, but you talked about subscriptions, but also, I was a part of a gym membership for years. I realized that I was paying all this money and only one thing I really went to the gym for, and that was to get on the treadmill and jog. I spent 80% of my time on the treadmill jogging, and I said, I'm paying $25 to $30 a month just to jog on the treadmill. I said, that don't make sense. I could jog around my neighborhood. I could jog around, my subdivision, different areas, and save that $25 to $35 a month and put it towards things that I really, financial goals that I really want to see accomplished in my life. And so, baby, would you talk about a little bit about subscriptions that we had?
Oh man, we had quite a bit. we had Disney, we had Hulu, we had Netflix, you named it, we had it. And I would tell you, you don't think about the money that's going out because it's so small, right? Those $10, those $20, those $30, that adds up. It really does. And I would tell you that when you think about the wants that you have purchased, we want to challenge everyone to go back and look at your statements. Look at January, December, and November. Go back and look at all of the wants that you have spent over these 3 months. And I want you to total up that amount. Beside it, go write down set emergency fund. Write down emergency fund. Look at that amount, whether it's $200, whether it's $500. Look at the amount that could have went into that emergency fund to protect your family and to make sure your family has peace. Because in reality is medical, right?
Yes. We just recently had a medical event. Tara on Christmas Eve, she had her appendix removed. This was something totally out of the blue and was unexpected. And so we had to have money set aside to take care of that, the medication, and just being able to, on top of Christmas, of course. And so life is going to keep on happening. And so we have to be prepared for when those life events happen. That's a need. But, if we could reduce some of the wants that help us build up our position for our needs, that's going to help us reach our goals faster.
Yeah. We pray our video truly blesses you. If you are ready to move to the next step, we have a free needs versus wants guide for couples in a link in the description below.
Yes, please like our video, subscribe to our channel so you can see what's coming next. Also, drop us a comment so we can know how this video is helping you out. Your financial journey is better together.